Live.
We're live! Checking connection. What's up, everybody? Welcome
It's happening.
to tonight's live stream.
Hello.
Hello! Tonight we're going to be talking about decisions, how to make them, and more specifically, how to know, own, and trust your intuition. So here's the thing. Out there in the world, there are a lot of organizations, individuals, and structures that want you to give them your decision making ability and power. They want you to give them authority over you and your mind and your decisions and your morals and your value system. So there's noise coming from all sorts of directions. We get it in the media like crazy, TV shows, like there's lots of different agendas and things going on. And one of the most powerful things that you have is your sovereignty. And people would like to have that, right? They want you to put your own gut feeling or your
Yep.
own preference to the side and trust what it is that they're saying, right? So, because of this, it can be very difficult to find and locate your intuition. Like when it comes to making a basic decision about um, where to work, a job, a relationship. Were you going to say something?
Where to go to school?
Yeah. If you're ready to have more kids, like anything that you're going to try to decide how to parent your kids, um, how to start a business, how to run a business, all of these things are all these big question marks in our brains. What's up? Welcome, everybody.
That's jumping on. Hello.
Hey, say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from today and or on the replay. We're talking about making decisions and really how to know, own, and trust your intuition. So I would just love to hear in the comments, throw a 1 in the comments if you have ever struggled to know whether something is your intuition or it's a fear or it's a feeling or it's a story.
Hey,
What's up, Elise?
Hello.
What's up, Glow?
Hello.
Hey, everybody. So, um, yeah, this is a really important topic because like we were saying, there are a lot of organizations, energies, people, individuals that would love to have you give them sovereignty over you. They want to be the king or the queen, the sovereign of your life.
Yeah.
And they'll take it if you'll give it to them. A great example is the religion I was raised in. I had a complete paradigm and an algorithm of what to run every decision through to know who it is I got to be, how I needed to show up in the world. Everything was decided in advance. And honestly, it's kind of nice. I was just being basically a zombie doing as the system required and therefore did not develop at that time an ability to really trust myself outside of that system. If my intuition was aligned with that system, then that was my intuition and I could trust it. And if my intuition wasn't aligned with the system, then I was wrong and I was being attacked by the devil and I was confused or whatever, right? That's what those systems tell you. Um, yes, one's all around. What's up, Brandy? Hey. Thank you guys. I like this one. That's like one, fucking one. That's really great. Thank you. So anyways, you guys, this is something that I just really want to presence everybody with here today, that when we're not understanding how to identify that, we will hand that power off to somebody else. And it can create a very demoralizing, depressing, victimy state of being and mind where you'll be able to be persuaded towards anything in any direction. Just whoever you're around, you'll just find yourself chameleoning to their beliefs or their ways of being or dressing or whatever that is, because finding and identifying that core inner voice for yourself has become so foreign.
It's become buried. It's been buried and buried and buried over years and years of
Programming.
trauma, programming, and every single thing that, I mean, it's programming, but everything that the media is telling us, songs are telling us, like we're being programmed everywhere we look all day. So,
All the ways.
yeah.
Yeah. So to create the life of your dreams, you get to have a functioning compass, because your desires are like signposts, and your soul knows what you want and what you ultimately desire. But if you aren't connected to that, you're just going to be chasing results, and you're going to be allowing anybody that shows up and says basically, "Oh, you want that? Give me your money and I'll give you that." You'll just be throwing your money at them, literally throwing your money at them, and also your sovereignty and your ability to choose and decide for yourself. And I'm going to read this comment. Elise, 100% struggling with this right now. I've been fighting to get Jack into a different school, and we've been denied left and right. Having a hard time dropping into the intuition of what is needed, warrior or mediator.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
what a powerful share.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this. Our intuition is always there. The knowing always exists inside of us. We just create distance from it by stories, energy, emotion, trauma, drama, that comes up inside of our life, our day-to-day life. And so if you're like, people are saying, I'm trying to like connect to my intuition, my advice would be to eliminate what's in between you and your intuition. So even asking that question. So for example, we were talking 2 lives ago about the BQH, the past life regression I was doing with Baby Love. And I was knowing the answer on a lot of the questions once she had taken me through the whole guided thing, and I was asking my higher self some questions. I knew the answers to them, but I was afraid of the answer. I was scared of judgment about the answer. I was afraid of what she was going to be thinking. And so it was basically hijacking my ability to trust it. I was doubting it. I was fighting it. I was battling it in my mind, but I knew. And so once I identified, and I even said it out loud, I just said, I can see I'm afraid of what you're thinking. I'm afraid you'll attach to this and feel like this has to be fact. I'm afraid that I can't just say it out loud. I'm afraid of all of these things, right? And
Yeah.
as I was speaking it out loud, as I was hearing myself say it, I was thinking, this is ridiculous. Like, this is the expert. She knows the way the session runs and how the subconscious works when it's starting to like dig for information. And she can tell when a response is hijacked or when a response is like clean.
Yeah.
And I don't need to worry about judgment. I don't need to worry about attachment to anything. And I was able to basically like alchemize it by just simply being willing to look at it. So that would be my deep question for you, Elise, is what is between you and your intuition right now? What story or what fear? There's something incredible about saying things out loud, even to yourself. Yes. Yes, it's your instincts. Trust that. Exactly. So it's when we go on a little bit of a search, but again, in order to do this, you get to have a belief system that your intuition is always there. And it's not something that like fades away or something like.
Or something that could be taken, or something that's being blocked, or
It's like the ability to see. It's like when your eyes are closed, are you like afraid that when you open them you'll have gone blind or something? That is a really great metaphor. Just because you're not listening to your intuition doesn't mean it's not speaking to you. Just because you've plugged your ears doesn't mean the noise isn't there, and doesn't mean that your ability to hear is like broken or something.
yeah.
It just simply means there's something between you and source in that moment. And it's something that you've created. It hasn't been put there by anyone else. You've allowed it to be created. You've allowed stories, you've allowed other people's opinions to come between you and source energy. Smudged ass glasses. Exactly. What's up, Sherry? Shout out. We love you, Sherry. Hiya. Yeah, it is smudged
Hiya.
ass glasses. That's exactly what it feels like. Really good. So while all of you guys were on here, I just wanted to say really quickly, we were getting ready to go live at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I'd love for you to think of what you were doing in that moment, because technology said no to us. We spent about 35 minutes rebooting the computer and rebooting everything. And it's crazy enough, it's the exact same computer that we're on right now, like the same model, same year. We bought them together. One's just at the house and one's just at the center. and they all have they had the exact same updates, the exact same everything, and it was not working. So if you're watching and experiencing this right now, my message to you is you're powerful. You got a really powerful vortex going on because you are calling in some sort of energetic shift, insight, answer, experience through this live right now that was rescheduled to this time because this was definitely not in the plan. So if you would have been busy and unable to be here, I just want you to give yourself credit for having created this situation for yourself, and also just kind of, thank yourself and allow your intuition to come online. And this is something I wanted to say yesterday. I felt really inspired to say this. There's so much power just putting yourself in the room. So I'm not saying that we have all the answers. We have a lot of answers, but it's not about that. When you're in an inner circle program with us, and quite a few of you are on here, our inner circle. We've got Elise on there, Sherry, um, Shirley's not with us yet. But basically, when you're in a container like that, there's power just putting yourself in the room with people who have a shared core intention around who they want to be and how they want to show up on the planet. And you can receive answers through anybody. I could hear a radio ad, but because I'm vibrationally aligned to receiving the answer and I'm in that frequency, the radio ad comes into my mind and my mind sparks an idea, right? Or here's a certain phrase a certain way that was exactly what I needed. That's the answer to my question. So if you've manifested being on here, I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's because we just have all the answers and we're the encyclopedia of all knowingness. No, it's that being here in this space with us on here with the intention of supporting and serving you, with other like-minded people here, you're putting yourself in the room of the frequency of answers, the frequency of clearing away the old garbage and centering and looking in and looking up. And that's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. And one of the things I believe that a really good coach does is they tune in to their client's intuition, and they help speak light into it or shine the flashlight on it and draw their attention to it. And then the client always confirms that for themselves. So this brings us to the first thing that I want to tell you guys, and I would invite you to write this down. These are kind of like guidelines for ensuring that you're connected to your intuition. And the first thing to watch for is that you are the ultimate filter for all things in your experience, which means nobody gets a direct line into you as truth, which means there's no prophet, no guru, no teacher, no friend, no parent, no authority figure ever in existence that gets free reign in your brain. And what that means is because they say something, it doesn't mean it's a fact. Everything still runs through your own internal check system, which is this resonating with me? And if the answer is yes, then you take in that information or insight about whatever the guidance is, parenting, eating healthy, career planning, whatever that is.
Bedtime.
If you feel more confused afterwards, if your energy is feeling heavy, gross, in distress, or flat in any way, it's not meant for you. Because again, there is no one size fits all in anything. And anybody who's telling you that is usually selling you something. There's a lot of one size fits all stuff that you can buy, in the clothing section. That's definitely not one size fits all. Definitely not. Oh, Shirley, I've seen you post in the Vernal Moms chat, and I loved it so much. Oh, I love that. You're local. Yeah. Represent Vernal. I laid in bed. What does it say? And asked out loud, what can I feed my mind before I fall asleep? And there you were. Sherry, you manifested us. We're here for you. And who else? I'd love to hear who else we're here for.
How are you, Sherry?
Yeah. What's up, lady? Would love an update. You should jump in our DMs. Tell us what's new. Or jump in the inner circle group and talk to us. Let us know. Yeah. I love the clapping hands. Okay. So continuing on, if you find yourself, like, for example, there was one time I was in a coaching container where my coach basically said that because I wasn't trusting her advice, it was about a certain situation with a client and how to handle it. And I didn't like her suggestion. I brought her some questions. I was having a client that was no showing to calls or something like that. This was back in 2018, so it's a little bit fuzzy. But basically, I had a question I brought to her, and I didn't like the answer, didn't resonate with me. And I just said, that doesn't feel like how I want to handle it. I want to like feel into it some more. And she basically interjected and said, you not trusting me is symbolic of you not trusting yourself. You don't trust your intuition if you don't trust me. That's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
What someone else tells me to do is not my intuition, right? So that's the first core thing that I want you to know is that you get to run everything. And anybody that would like require you to just take them at their word, um, they're not empowering you to have a clear connection with that part of you that can let you know instantaneously whether something's aligned or not. There's some sort of fuckery going on, and I do this with that, you know? Like that to me is a huge red flag.
Yeah, we do not allow anything to come into our space that doesn't get to be ran through that intuitive filter. And every time. It's always there. It might be buried. That's what we're saying. It might be buried under people pleasing. It might be buried under, which is all learned behavior. It might be buried by religion. It might be buried by school. It might be buried by the way we were raised, but it's there. It's there.
Yeah. So getting back down to that. So the first thing is um running everything through your intuition. And if you can't find it, like what do you do if you can't find it? Guys, like I'd love to hear what you think. Throw some things in the chat. If you're feeling like there's distance between you and your intuition and it's fuzzy and it's blurry and it's foggy glasses, what are some things you can do to tune back into that? To turn the dial on your radio station to truly genuinely listening to that all-knowing higher self that's connected to the divine, that is you forever, that's not going anywhere, that can't be distorted, taken away, any of that. You can just turn it off. You can stop listening to it. That part of you.
Yeah.
What are some things you can do? Type away, type away. And while you're doing that, I would say the first thing is what I already asked you to do, which was ask yourself, what is between me and my intuition? Is this a story? Is this a trauma? Is this a belief? Is this a fear? You can do a journaling exercise where you ask this question. This is a powerful question. What am I not wanting to know right now? What is true for me that I'm not wanting to know?
Mm.
And allow yourself to free write journal on that. I'm loving the updates, Sherry. Yeah, it is really powerful. What were you to say, love?
I'm just reading this.
Yeah, it is really powerful right now. We are in the day that's outside of time today, July 25th. This is in the Mayan calendar. This is a really powerful hinge day where you get to decide that you're no longer going to go into the patterns of the past, that you're going to stay in the observer's chair and you're going to create from your dreams versus recreating your past. We can get really caught up in living in the past, comparing ourselves to past versions of ourselves, preparing ourselves to when things were better in a certain way in the past or not as good or whatever. And we get caught in the nostalgia and hanging on to the past versus being excited in the future. We were just talking about it this week as a lot of things are shifting and moving around in our world. If you are focused on the chapter that's ending, and saying goodbye to like things or like ages or jobs or whatever, you're sad and you're really depressed. But when you're thinking about where you're like moving to or the next job you're getting or what's in the next chapter, there's excitement and there's joy. And that's simply a matter of your focus, of your perspective. I love this. Go to the piece. What choice feels like flow versus resistance? Ooh. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Shirley says the inner voice is the one crying out saying, that's not me. Just sit with yourself. Ooh. Elise, Cancer Moon sits in nostalgia all the time. It feels comforting initially, but ends up making me miserable. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's real life.
Really good ones.
Those are really good ones. So another thing that you can do is you can create space between you and that decision. So if it's feeling really mucky or feeling really pressured for you to decide about something, See what space you can create. Does this decision have to be made right now? Very rarely are decisions having to be made right now, that you couldn't sleep on for at least one night, if not two, up to a week, especially in business. So
Hmm.
creating some space between you and needing to make the decision can be supportive, because in that time you can go and resource yourself, and then
Yep.
you cannot be in front of anybody. Because sometimes when somebody asks me something to my face, I have one answer, and then when I go think about it later, I'm like, why did I say yes to that? That's not going to work for me. But in that moment, I'm wrapped up or caught up in the conversation or the moment or pleasing them or something, being agreeable, that I'm not actually like checking in with how I'm feeling and what's going on, and where I really get to be putting my energy for what I've already previously committed to. Right. Good stuff.
So I just gonna say about that?
Yeah. I could feel you about to say something, but I was finishing my thought.
Oh man. I think I look.
Oh, it's so fun to have you guys all on here. Welcome, welcome. We're having so much fun with StreamYard. That's the software we're using right now. We're streaming on 2 Facebooks, a YouTube, and Instagram, which is so fun. So it's like we're getting to see a lot of you in a lot of different spaces.
Yeah, and we totally recommend this right now. This is fun because we get to be able to spread everything that we're saying through all the different channels all at one time. So it makes it really feel and have that like abundance feeling. So it's been really fun playing with this.
Yeah, thank you, Sherry. It's so true. Feel it to heal it. And that's one of the things that we were talking about, like in some previous lives, you guys. If you're having like lots of big energy coming up that's standing between you and really getting clear, just like I was saying and suggesting, create space between you and the decision so you can take the time to tap it out, to feel the feelings of what each decision would feel like play it forward, imagine it all the way through, and see what that feels like for you. So taking that time to tap that out and to really tune in, and to even ask, like, it almost feels like to me sometimes I'm presented with something and then I've got like five different voices in my head chiming in about which direction to go, right? It's like I have a council at a table and they're all kind of arguing, right? And I can identify so many of those voices. If I stop and I look at that voice, like that parenting voice, I'm like, who is this? Is this my intuition? Is this my mom? Is this my dad? Is this programming? Is this the media? Like, what's telling me? Is this me comparing myself to other moms? What is telling me that this is the right way? And you can like sort through the different voices and see them really clearly, and then just sit with them like, oh, I see why I'm thinking to do that, because that's what my mom said always made someone a good mom, is da 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 da. Right. And so just clearing that out, feeling it, sitting with it. And when we do this, you guys, the energy begins to lift and dissipate.
Yeah.
It shifts by simply being with it.
Yep. We were talking about last night that when the body doesn't get to be able to have any type of a release, or when it's been stored inside of it, it doesn't have that channel. So when you release it by tapping, you can bring in that channel for the emotion to be released.
Exactly.
And there's many, many layers of it. So many layers. It can come up, um, it can come up with anything at any given time. Everybody knows that. Like we never know when a feeling or an emotion is going to come up. So being able to have something to move through it in that moment can be a lifesaver, a game changer.
Yes. I'm loving these comments, this conversation.
Yeah.
Elise saying, I felt the urge for retribution for the past that harmed, trying to move towards healing instead of vengeance. Yeah, let's move towards healing instead of vengeance. Surely, okay. Beyond feeling it, do y'all work on integration? Tell me what you mean by that. What do you mean by integration? Do you mean like integrating the new belief, like the positive statements?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm curious what you mean by integration. Please let us know. Yay. I love that. I love it. Thank you. So, basically, when it comes to your intuition, I want you to understand that there's going to be, it's not just a feeling. So if you're just going off of your feelings, just like emotions, this can be tricky because people often talk about their intuition as a feeling, right? Because it's like a sense, so it's like a feeling. Um, but there's like emotion, so that's the word I'm going to use. So if you're going off your emotions as your intuition, it's like, um, oh, I'm feeling anxious to speak in front of all these people, so that means I'm not supposed to do it, right? My intuition's telling me not to. Like, if I'm supposed to speak in front of all these people, I'll feel good. And it's like, well, maybe you're actually just nervous and you have a little bit of stage fright, which is okay. So we get to really understand how to sift and sort through these things. So from a very practical level, recognizing that emotions are not facts, right? Those types of feelings aren't facts. Those are emotions, and they can be coming up for a variety of different reasons that we've already talked about today. The way you're interpreting something, the meaning that you're giving to it, the past history and stacked context that you have, right? That really impacts that. And then the next component is understanding that you will have a sense, like an intuitive knowing, which feels kind of like a feeling, but it's not an emotion exactly. Okay. And it will be paired with some semblance of divine logic. There will be
Mm.
there will be what feels like it will feel clean, clear, simple. If you find yourself in the middle of making a decision feeling very confused about a direction you're going, that is a signal to step back, not to ask somebody else and do what they tell you to do. Like, please make note of that. It doesn't mean go ask your bishop, pastor, preacher, someone else. Certainly get advice, have consultants in your space.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, we don't have them bring us the clarity and then act off what they say. We allow insight and advice to be taken into consideration. And then we allow that intuitive higher self part of us to make the decisions moving forward. So there will be both components to it. You'll have the divine logic as well as that sense, that feeling, but it's not really an emotion. Although there can be emotion to it. There can be like peace and things like that that are often described as emotional experiences, but I'm wanting you to know, like, feeling bad about something doesn't necessarily make it not true, right? You can feel bad about something because you're embarrassed, or like I said, you have trauma around it or whatever. So that's why you'll find that balance there. And again, you guys, if you're not fully owning your mind and you're not deeply connected to your own intuition, anybody will be able to say anything and it will incept your mind. It can create lots of loops of thinking and obsessive thoughts, because you're weighing what's right or true or making decisions based on like opinions of others and other people's like paradigms and algorithms, like churches or other organizations, versus your own knowing, your own experience that tells you what is truly aligned for you.
Here, here.
Here. It just
Encore, encore.
coming out. Best questions are the ones that aren't asked. So what are you afraid to ask yourself? Ooh, Sherry's coming in hot. That's a really good question.
I've had this voice come to me lately.
I love that. So what are you afraid to ask yourself? Yeah, I love that. Shirley says all parts and pieces come together in me and make you whole. Certainly. Yes. Yes, queen. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. So just as a reminder to all of you guys, the reason why we are going live right now is we are going live every single day up until August 1st, because our Legacy Living Inner Circle doors are open. It's the first time in over a year that they've been open, and we're so excited to be making that accessible and available. We do have a really fun full pay special. When you full pay for the year of the coaching, you get 2 months free, as well as a past life regression hypnotherapy. That's a $1,400 value. So that's a really fun thing you guys can take advantage of. Good, juicy stuff. Any other questions, things that are coming up for you guys right now? Please post them in the comments now. And even if you're watching the replay, because we are here and we are on a fun like streak of going live and bringing you guys incredible content and asking your questions. And the things we've been bringing to you guys have been inspired by you guys. A lot of our clients and other sessions we've been doing and experiences we've been having have really been guiding the direction that we take these lives. And tonight it felt really important to discuss intuition and how important it is that you be the authority in your experience, so that you won't be swayed by whatever temporary emotional winds are raging in yourself or others around you, that you'll be able to go to that eye of the storm, that calm place, and know what it is that you get to do next for your most aligned life. Ding. I wish I could like little sparkle bing from my eye. Yeah, my past life regression was amazing. I highly recommend it. They're profound. They take up to 6 months to integrate. So Sherry is still integrating from hers. And yeah, when I say integrate, what I mean is all the different layers and aspects of the body and the being receiving and getting the information like, and like, I'm wanting to think of it like a metaphor of how I see it. It's almost like putting lotion on it, like sinks in, it like integrates or something. I don't know. That's how I see it.
Totally.
Thanks for having my back on that.
Well, I'm like thinking of, what was I thinking? I was thinking that when I was thinking of the past life regression.
Yeah, you were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She's
that's what I was
reliving it.
thinking of.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're really, really fun sessions. So I'm so glad that you all joined us tonight. Again, any of the questions, anything that's burning or coming up, please post it. You could be the inspiration for an entire live, and we could basically be giving you some sort of vicarious coaching session. It can be anything in life or business. We are energy alchemists, so we focus on the energy of what it is that you are vibrating that determines what it is you're creating and aligned to next. We do a lot of work with entrepreneurs. We love, love, love business. And I think that's everything, my queen. Is there anything else?
One thing I wanted to say about Elise when she was talking about, I'm like, where is it? It's up here.
Oh,
When she was talking about trying to move towards healing instead of vengeance. Ever since I read that, I was just thinking it was such a, well, it just, I guess what was coming up was just it feeling like a beautiful share, and that there's been pieces of me, I guess I'm resonating with something that she was saying, and there's been parts of me that have been definitely feeling into that energy. So that's been relevant for me. And I was just going to say that it was a vulnerable share, and I've definitely been feeling that. So thanks for sharing that.
yeah.
Badass.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Coming back to that finally.
Yeah, I
I'm
love
pretty
it.
sure my trip to Boston and Salem is connected to the BQH.
It's surrounding my ex, the lack of accountability. Gotcha.
Wow.
Cool.
I hear you.
Ooh, when is that trip, Elise? Can you remind me when that
Venus.
trip is? Is it is it Venus retrograde right now? Or are you saying it's going to be during that? Catch me up. I'm so excited about your trip that you're taking. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So,
That's a bucket list.
okay. That's exciting. Ooh, going in October. Hey, I got a gift for you. I was wondering how to get a hold of you since seeing your post on Mom's Chat. Can you PM me? Oh, are you talking to me, Shirley? I'm wondering if you're watching us through the New Earth Healing Center. Shirley Beasley, I can message you. It's retrograde now. Okay. Okay.
I didn't know it was retrograde
Gotcha.
right now.
Gotcha. Good to know.
When?
Okay. Cool.
When did retrograde happen?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how I missed that one.
I know that there was like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So sure.
Well, thanks for hanging out tonight, guys, and vibing and showing up for yourselves and being
Yes.
the beautiful hope building aspects of humanity that we love, that inspire us, that drive our life mission, basically, and what it is that we're here to do in service of just creating a happier, more beautiful, abundant world. So sending you guys lots of love.
So much love.
We will be back here again with you tomorrow and the day after that. So again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, compliments, be sure to post those below or shoot us a message. We love you.
We love you guys.
And
so
we will
much.
talk to you later. Bye. And there it is.